Hi guys, Ronnie here and welcome to the workshop. Today I want to talk about marginal gains which I have achieved with shoes. So, back to my time trial bike as a start. A couple of weeks ago I switched from an S-size frame to an extra small just so I have more flexibility with my position. And that ended me up with having 10 millimeters of stack underneath the extensions, or well, the one-piece cockpit that I have here from Aerocoach. And from then on I got an idea of trying to go even lower while preserving my position. And I was searching around on the internet looking for ideas, and that's when I find the principle of basically putting the cleats further back on your shoe. Now, in a steady state effort, this basically has no disadvantages in terms of power output, but still, bringing your cleats further back enables you to drop your saddle and thus drop your front end by the same amount, so your overall position is lower, achieving a lower frontal area. So this is exactly what I set out to do. Now first, I took my old S-Works 6 shoes, which are my workhorse for training, and it shows. Now generally these are not scuffed or beaten up, but they've done over 60,000 kilometers in training and racing, so there is some wear on there, and I didn't mind being or making these damaged from an unsuccessful attempt at the modification. So yeah, these are my starting point. The first thing I've done is I put my speedplay cleats as far as back as they would go in a normal adapter situation. So remember, this is a normal 3-bolt shoe. You need a speedplay adapter plate which is around 3 millimeters thick to have the speedplay cleat fitted on there, and that looks something like this. So it adds quite a bit of weight and complexity, and it's kind of bulbous on there, not really great. But first I tried this one, and I really like the new position. I put my front end all the way down. This also enabled me to put my head down while having the arm cups all the way together, so that's a nice improvement there. And yeah, the saddle position was optimized for that too. Now that I was happy with the cleat position, I wanted to go one step further. Now, previously I've been using my S-Works Sub 6 shoes for time trialing, and these have been outfitted with the Watch Shop low stack speedplay mod, so you don't really need that bulky adapter plate anymore, and the stack is basically the same as if it were a regular, or not a regular, a special speedplay 4-bolt shoe, which is really nice indeed. So I took the adapter kits that I've ordered from Watch Shop earlier, together with the new steel plates which protect them from wear, and done my first ever modification on the old shoes, and it turned out great. I've been using them like this ever since. Now bear in mind, this is not really a do-it-yourself modification for novice home mechanics, because yeah, you need specialist tools, and it's a permanent change or modification to your shoe which can't be reversed and can go catastrophic. So don't say I didn't warn you. Anyway, I have the low stack mod now on there, which means I've lost another 3 millimeters, this time from the stack, and this meant that I can go even lower. And also it's slightly more efficient biomechanically, so that's really a marginal gain. Plus I have this little metallic plate which helps with the wear, the creaking, etc. So that's a really nice and really simple solution right there. But again, I didn't stop there. One annoying thing that I experience sometimes with speedplay cleats is that when you clip in, and this only really happens to my left foot for some reason, but you have this little rubber cover there, which is nice and walkable and grippy, so that's great. But it has the annoying habit of protruding slightly from the flat plane of the cleat itself. And what this does is contacts the spindle itself, which for the first thing it's really annoying because it makes a squeaking noise, and for the second thing it's wearing down your spindle, which in case if you have titanium spindles like me is not a very nice thing to have. And then for the third thing, of course, it robs you of power because it's added friction that just shouldn't be there. So I've done a couple of things to remedy this. So the first thing you can do is, actually, if you look at this metal part here from the cleat, when you install it, it also, just like the rubber part, makes kind of a wave as you tighten it. So I straightened it out with a hammer and a punch, and I also did some filing just to make it thinner. This way it can't contact the spindle anymore. But I have one more thing in my mind that might actually cure this forever, because it reappeared again after some time. So if you think about it, the cleat is tightened in 4 spots here and here. So this section is secured by the bolts. This doesn't really need to even be there. So eventually I'll just try to cut out this whole thing and file the plastic down even more, because it only really contacts the pedal from the side. This is a pretty old set of cleats and shoes, so this is what I'll have for experimenting. Another thing that this modification enabled me to do is to remove the standard bolt hardware that you would have for the 3-bolt system, so you save that little bit of weight. Now that's all set pretty much with the old shoes. These are used for experimenting at this point. Then furthermore, I still have the sub 6s, and yeah, these still are the most slippery shoe out here or out there or wherever. So what I want to do is now transfer my new cleat position further back on this shoe. That would mean drilling another 4 holes, which probably doesn't bode very well for the integrity of the carbon up here. So what I want to do is first do my drilling for the new cleat position, and then I will ask a carbon repair shop to basically touch this area up to cover the original holes and cover the first mod holes, and then I will just have the 4 little holes that I need for my current cleat setup. So that way I will have the super light, super slippery sub 6, cleats further back, and cleats all the way to the sole with the neat workshop adapter. If this becomes a success, and really there's no reason why it wouldn't, then I'm going to transfer these modifications also to my newer set of shoes. So because of hot feet issues, I have invested in the exhaust shoes last summer, and really they've been great. They fulfilled all my expectations regarding them. But yeah, these being a super light shoe, they will greatly benefit, of course, from the low stack mod. The problem with this one, however, is that I might not be able to go far back enough because of this little indentation in the outsole, but we'll see about that. And then for road racing, and I'm planning to do this year, I have hopped in for a pair of RS shoes. Now these have a very similar outsole than the 6s, so the modification here shouldn't be an issue at all. And again, I won't have this nasty little lump lurking on the bottom of my shoe, if you compare them side to side, then you can see what I'm talking about. Yeah, this is nice and neat and low, and that's just bulky. Yeah, so these are the plans regarding shoe modifications. And then if you go to the inside of the shoes for one moment, I have one more thing that people ask me about quite a lot, are the insoles. In fact, an annoying fact of cycling shoes is no matter how expensive they are, what they come with is a cheap little thin piece of foam instead of insoles, which have, well, not much arch support or any other kind of support in there. Annoyingly, these are white too, so probably it will be a nightmare in the long run. So what I tend to do with my shoes is to swap the insoles out for Sole Stars. I really like these. I've had the controls for a while, and then I got the blacks as well, which are much stiffer, even more supportive, and now I tend to run these most of the time. I just need to get 2 more pairs for the other shoes. The annoying thing about S-Works shoes is that no size of Sole Stars exactly fits them because of the shape and the size of the shoe itself. So this one I have in 42 and it's slightly too small, and this one I had in 43 and it's slightly too big, so I had to cut off a little bit from the side, but this way it fits perfectly. And yeah, it gives you another slight advantage in terms of comfort. Well, comfort wise it's quite a big advantage, but in terms of power transfer too, because yeah, this is super stiff carbon fiber, very supportive, instead of that flimsy foam that you get regularly. Okay, so with this collection of marginal gains, hopefully I'll be able to go slightly faster still for this season. I hope you have found this maybe inspirational or useful. If you want to know more about the equipment I'm going to use for this year's racing, hopefully, then don't forget to tune into our channel later on and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.